Yes, we have sound now. Oh, I tell you what, I'll get used to this soon. It's a good platform when I know how to work it. Just throw that over there onto that screen, and I'll pull this chat out, and then I'll go to there, and if I push that over there, there you go. All right, I think I'm there. Yeah, I know, I forgot what I said. I reckon there might have been some good stuff in there, T-Bone. Anyway, I'll just make sure that we're working here. And I do have sound. Let me just see. Yes, I've got sound. All right. We're ready to rock and roll. What I said was, g'day, I'm Steve. Hey, welcome to Woodworking Masterclass. This isn't a lesson. It's not a tutorial. It's nothing like that. All it is I've got some work to do, and I haven't streamed for ages, and I miss your company in the shed. There you go. And I saw a post from a good friend of Woodworking Masterclass, Max Murray, and he seemed a bit flat today. He's in lockdown and what have you in Melbourne. And I thought, well, I'll stream, and if he comes in, I'll try and make him happy. So that's it. What I've been doing is, got sound now. Good, Darren, I'm happy. Yeah, I've changed the way I've been making these native bee boxes, and it would be fun if there was more people in the chat room, because perhaps I should do it when there's not many people in the chat room. I have changed over to a lock mitre bit, which normally they look like this. Hang on, what are we on? We're on that one? Can we do that one? There you go. That's what they normally look like. And it goes in the router, and it's scary enough as it goes. But I've upgraded and found another one that's much bigger, and it does an awesome job. If you look at the size of that one compared to that, yeah, you've got to concentrate when you're using it. But the issue I have, the way a lock mitre joint works is you have, I don't know if I've got a complete one here, most likely you haven't, but you have, it'll give you that profile, and on the other side you've got the same profile, only across the end grain, and they lock together like that. I'll just whip over there and see if I've got one that I can show you how they lock together. I don't know. I've spent, best part of a week messing around with this, trying to get it right. And now finally, I think I've got it right. Okay, here we go. So you've got two bits. Got this bit here. Problems on that, I'll change cameras. You've got this bit here and this bit. Now if you can imagine that's on across the face instead of the end grain, and they marry together like that, which gives you a really nice flat joint. Good afternoon, sir, or morning. How you going? Shannon, good to have you on board. I'm just putting together this mitre lock joint thing. So that's how they join. But for my purpose, I want them to join at 90 degrees. Now, again, I'll go and have a look. You can tell when I decided to stream, I'm totally organised. And is that, yeah, okay. That'll give you an idea. It's not a good example, but it doesn't matter. Actually, it is a good example. Okay, so here is how it looks, and it's meant to be better than that. It's had a lot of chew out, but that clips in there like that. Gives you a beautiful gluing surface, and a nice tight joint when it's all set up properly. The issue I was having when I was cutting this face here, not a drama, easy peasy. It was giving me a clean cut. But when it came to doing this face across the grain, as you can see, it gets a bit ugly. There's chip out and tear out and all sorts of things. So what I thought was, I'll go and buy myself a power feed head to put on the router. And they weren't cheap. They were all well over $1,000. But for what I want to do, to me it was worth the investment. But I couldn't get one. And the one I could get, that would have done the job quite well. I think it was just under $1,400 Australian. But they didn't have any in stock, so they rang the supplier to see if they'd get some more. The price is now $2,300, so I wasn't going to go there. So what I came up with was, I've got the Jessam router table set up, which is an absolutely sterling setup. Again, not cheap, but beautiful to use. And I've got a sliding fence that runs at 90 degrees to the back fence. So you've got the router cutter sitting there. There's your fence. Well, there's your fence. Where's the cutter? I've lost it. I could lose a camel on this bench. So pretend that's your router cutter there, and there's your fence. This one slides along here so I can get, where to go? Oh, is that it? No. Oh, down here already. So, oh, I love this. How can stuff disappear so easily in front of my face? Anyway, I need this to come along this way, so when I've got the end grain up like that, I can run it along and the cutter will cut in there. If you try it by hand, you're about half an inch or 12 mil away from that thing spinning at 24,000 RPM. Now, I don't know about you, but it doesn't make me feel very comfortable with my fingers that close to that. So I had to come up with something that I could apply pressure to the back of the board that I'm trying to route, and my fingers are nowhere near it. What I came up with, and I'm just putting it together now, this is a Bessie push-pull clamp. Like that, that's how it works. And what I've done is I've made another fence up that will slide into this fence here, and I'm just about to bolt this on. So then, this is the theory of it all. There's my fence running along this way with the router bit here. So now I can have this piece tucked in there. I've got a rebate for it. And this will put pressure on this against the cutter. And I'm not going to do this in one cut. I've tried it. My machine will do it, but it's not fair to the machine. It's not fair to the cutter, and it's potentially dangerous because you're taking a great big wodge of timber out in one cut. If you have a look at that, that's a lot of timber to be expecting a router to be taking out in one go. So that's what I'm up to there. And then when I've just put this together, I'll start gluing these up so you can see how I used to glue them up. And this new way, it should save me a large amount of time, a huge amount of time. So we'll just hang in there with that. Trevor, g'day mate, how you going? How's Liz? Is Liz better? And are you better after your fall? I never saw such bad sound. Was that, Yeah, mate, but as I said, I just wanted to know how that would go in one pass, and yeah, no, not good. So we're giving that a miss. We're going to try this new way with preloading it. Oh, trouble with these bolts, I just went and picked these up from the hardware shop this morning. They're 10 mil, but they're galvanised. So the wing nuts I've got are bright steel. So they're bright steel wing nuts, but galvanised bolts. So when you try and screw them in, it doesn't go in easily because you've got bits of gal in between the lands of the thread, which is a bit of a nuisance. But hey, Vinny, how are you, mate? So that is what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to see if we can get this camera working here, if it's going to. Oh, these are all set up in sets, which I will glue together very, very shortly. Oh. Anyone putting bets on how long that pile's going to last before I knock it over? There it is there. Oh, I'll give myself about 3 minutes, I think. But anyway, it's all good. Okay, I just want to see if that's going to focus. It's just not playing the focus game, is it? Oh, that's better. I like that. Okay. So this fence here, I made up purely for this. That's the profile that comes through. It's not quite as clean as the actual profile because I had a lot of messing around trying to get it right. So now I'm going to fit this push-pull jobby onto a backing plate, and we will see how we go. Again, awfully annoying. I've got galvanised cup heads, which, because they're galvanised, they just got that extra little bit of dag of metal hanging off somewhere, and they don't fit in as nicely as I would like them to. Some of them do, and others you have to talk to them nicely and persuade them. Well, that one went in easy. Okay, here we go, last one. There we go. Okay, so what I've done there is I've put a countersink in, so that's the front of it. Then I'll put a countersink in there so I can put washers in. And wouldn't you know it, some of the washers fit and some of them don't. Oh well. And then I'm going to tighten them. Oh, I actually might put spring washers on there as well. So I'll put spring washers on there as well. And we'll put nuts on. It's lovely to have a big range of rubbish in a workshop. And people come and say, oh, what do you want all that rubbish for? But oh, then when you need something, you've got it. It's just so nice. Okay, so we'll do those, tighten those up. I bet you I haven't got an 11mm spanner. What have I got? Oh, I've got a shifter, that'll do. And And I haven't forgot about a picture frame. I know I've got to finish, and I haven't forgotten about, the drawer construction I'm doing. Well, here's one. What's this? That's 12. That might do. We'll see. Oh, dear. Okay, what have we got? That's good, Trev. Everything's good. Was the router speed not agreeing with the wood grain bit? I always thought these glue joints a bit would work just fine. They work just fine, but you got to have them set up properly. And if you're a smidgen out, they just don't line up. And that one I've got there is a very, very big one. I needed it to do inch timber, and so it's got a lot of grunt to it, as it were. And so it's taken a fair chunk out. But if I creep up on it, I've got to work out exactly how many bites I'm going to take to get that joint. I'd like to do it in 3, only because of the time factor, but I'm thinking 4 are going to be what's needed to do it without putting undue stress on the bit or on the router itself. I mean, I forget what it is. It's a hefty router, but I just don't like pressurising them. This is the wrong size spanner, but I think we're getting out all right. And what else I did was I dropped the Forstner bit on the mating plate. There. So these nuts and bolts, I hope, I might have to take a bit more out, we'll see. Whoops. They should line up there nicely-ish. Let's pop it in there and have a... nearly knocked that pile over. Okay, so there we go. It's nicely put together. And that's flush there. Now the theory is, when I put this together, I love these things that are in theory. What is that? Oh, it's a spring washer. So I'll put this on here. Whoops. I'm not sure if I can get a camera over there, but I'll show you what I actually want to achieve. It's good to improvise. Okay, I think the push-pull mechanism, I think, cost me about $60, and $6 for the bolts. And if it does what I wanted to do, I've just saved myself over $2,000, which has got to be a good day, isn't it? As soon as I've done this, then I can start doing some glue ups, but we'll go over. The idea is too, it's going to put me in the middle. I'll show you when I get over there. That'll be the best idea. Where's a screwdriver? Put this there. Okay. My bees have been keeping me busy lately. That's another reason I haven't been doing much. All right, that's the contraption. So we'll go over to the router table and I'll show you basically what I want it to do. Hang on to the vertigo. All right, so now this slides on there like that. That gets, put it around here with me a bit. That gets set there. This isn't the right bit, and I'm not going to do a test cut at the moment because a couple of other things I want to do. But my idea is, let me see if I can find one, the square end. Oh dear. Oh, ba-bum. Oh, what's that? There you go, look at that. Okay, so this then will slot into there like that. I push, slide this up, so that's locked in there like that. And then I can either bring it right around. Oh, I've got cameras and tripods everywhere here. Let's see if I can zoom you in. Okay. So this goes in there like that. You would think that would be enough to hold it in place. But here's the bit here, and as you can see, it's a big bit. It can have the tendency of pulling that out a bit. So what I want to do is to be able to lock that in like that. So we'll bring that out a bit more. And that's it. And then I can just bring that up slowly onto the piece. As I said, I don't really want to do it at the moment because there's a couple other things I want to do. And we should be good to go. Oh, wait a minute. No, we will. I'll give it a go. We'll give it a shot. Why not? Hey, you got to be brave in this day and age. Let's take a risk. Oh. Just take all this stuff off. Let's make sure I've got that's right. Okay. Now what I want to do is do this in several passes. So what I might do, I'll just go and cut this on the drop saw and then we'll give it a shot for real. going to be a happy man if this works, I'll tell you. All right. So first of all, I will do the laying down piece, and then we'll do an up piece, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to do this in, okay, wait a minute. I've got to take this out because I just want to use this. And I'm going to do this in 3 or 4 passes. Wait a minute, I might just, I'll swap cameras on you. I don't normally like doing this because that's my main camera. But in this situation, why not? Have a go. Okay, so you can see that okay. Let's go. Here we go. Try another piece. Nice to have timber around. I'm just looking for a gripper. There we go. All right. Something is moving. What's moving? Oh, flipping fence is moving. That's what's moving. Okay. We'll try it again this time. Make sure the fence is tight. Okay. We'll try the third time. Now we'll put that jig in and see how we go doing the other bit. Let's see. So I'm doing is moving the fence because I want to do these in small cuts. We'll see how it goes. Back on. adjustments out a bit, but that's what we're looking at. I've just got to adjust the height. And what I've got is an issue with the handbrake on the router table itself. So it's not the router's fault, it's not the bit's fault. There's a problem with the brake. It's a cam brake, and it's just not locking, so that vibration's knocking me about. But yeah, I've got a little bit more work to do, but I think that's going to be the answer in the long run. Oh dear. Oh, I better flip this camera around too, so now you can see when I go back to the bench. Where are we? There we go. That should be pretty close when I get back there. Still, that's all part and parcel of playing with woodwork, isn't it? There we go. Oh, I'm looking, I've got to come back a little bit. I'm just about knocking the top of my head off. So anyway, that's my play today for that particular challenge. I'll start gluing some boxes together now, because the old-fashioned way, but once I can perfect that, oh, it's going to be so much easier than what I've been doing before. Anyway, oh well, oh, time will tell. Got to perfect it. Let's have a sip of coffee, then I'll have a chat, then I'll do some work. Oh, that's good, Trevor, right into native bees. I tell you what, they're growing on me. It's just one of those things, I think it just gets in your blood. Oh, crikey, it's warm. All right, let's make a bit of room here. G'day, Louise, how are you? Lovely to see you. Okay. What's that? This one away. Oh no, do I need that one? Yeah, that one will do. I guess. Where's my mouse? There we go. That can be the first one that I'll do. Oh, bashed my microphone. I've just ordered a new microphone. The clip's over my head, so I don't have that problem anymore. That'll be exciting when it gets here. And that can go down there. And where are we up to? Vinny, I said, g'day. I call my rubbish area lost in the band. Oh, mate, my shed full of... Actually, I made a commitment the other day. Isn't it funny how you do these things and they don't work out? I said, that's it. I'm not taking on any more work until I've caught up on the jobs that I've already promised and I've got to do. And the next day I get a phone call. Oh, can you do so-and-so? So, anyway, what can I tell you? One of those things. You're still projectless, Vinny. Come up here. I've already got stuff for you to do. Anthony, just came across you. Upon living in Azerbaijan, retired medic, enjoying carpentry taught me by my dad 6 years ago. It's not a bad thing to hand on to your kids, is it? But the old carpentry, the project that I had the other day that came up, I'm trying to get my grandsons involved in, and I will actually pay them. So one of them said, I said, it's got to be done to my standard. He said, well, I don't know what your standard is. I said it's a lot higher than yours. So we'll get them working. Should be good. Now, I haven't shown this process of the way I put my hives together because I was keeping it pretty close to my chest, but now I'm changing. I don't care. It's there to be shared anyway, isn't it? What I've done to these boxes, they're mitre joints, and as you may or may not know, a mitre joint isn't a very strong joint. So, what I do is I reinforce them with a concealed spline, which makes them very, very strong. But first, before I glue them up, the reason a mitre joint isn't strong is because it doesn't get much glue. If you look at that, that end grain will suck up so much glue. So what I do beforehand, I pre-glue them. So when I put the glue on to join them, the glue will stay there. It won't get lost in the grain, but it will interlock with the glue that I've already put down there. So that's the secret. Oh, okay. Let me catch up on the chat and then we'll do it. Anthony, good on you. Hope you're enjoying that. I watched a movie the other day, yesterday. It brought me to tears. It really did. And I've forgotten the chap's name, Desmond Dowd or Dode or something. He was a medic in World War II. The movie was called Hacksaw Ridge. And I'm getting the tingles just thinking about it. He refused to take up arms and they gave him stick. They gave him so much, of a hard time because they branded him as a coward and he wouldn't fire a rifle and he was weak and he was this, that and the other. Anyway, he went up on the top of this ridge after the second or third charge, and when everyone had evacuated, he stayed behind. Oh, I'm starting to choke up. It was emotional. He stayed behind and rescued 75 wounded men. Amongst them with his OC and his sergeant, who both belittled and berated him and gave him such a hard time. And just goes to show, you look at people and you judge them on physical attributes or you judge them on what you think are strengths, but there's no account for a man's faith and a man's heart. And this bloke had both. Mel Gibson. Yeah, Mel Gibson. It was directed by Mel Gibson. Terrific movie. Not for the faint-hearted though, it's a bit gory. Okay, so I put these together with type 3 tight bond, which is, where are we going? What? No, that one's out of focus. There you go, that stuff there. The reason being this is going outside and it's waterproof. Oh dear, g'day Anthony. If at first you don't see here, mate, it's one of those things, isn't it? Isn't it funny, Anthony? It's funny. I was here the other day and somebody said, your workshop's a mess. Have you got a so-and-so? And I walked straight to it. It was under a pile of rubbish near something, behind something that had fallen down on the floor, but I knew where it was. So there you go. It's good. Theo, mate, I was going to give you a ring. How you feeling? Are you any better? You sounded like you were at death's door yesterday. I was going to call in and I thought, no, I'm going to eat my hamburger and go home. So I hope you're feeling well, my friend. Or if not well, at least better. Maybe you could cut bevel chunk off the... Yeah, look, you could, you can't. You can't. The reason being, I've got to find one now. T-bone, here you go. Oh, dear, where is it? Okay, the reason being, this tongue here sticks out past the mitre. So if I cut a mitre down there to save myself a lot of grief, this tongue is removed. So yeah, that's the challenge with it. I will get there. I'm a lot further ahead than I was 4 days ago. So I did think of that, T-Bone. I did think of that. Yeah, it was a good movie, wasn't it, Louise? What was the other one I saw? I saw something else. Oh, no. Oh, it was horrible. Yeah, no, I'm not even going to tell you the name of that one. Oh, a great movie he was on. Apparently he passed away in 2008 or 2003. Absolute wonderful. G'day, Jared. I was talking to Jared this morning on Messenger on Facebook, and I said, I better go. I'm going down the shed and I'm going to do a stream. And I kid you not, that was at 9 o'clock. It is now 3 o'clock, so it's taken me 6 hours to get down here. Although, to be fair, I did go into town. I bought some hardware for that project. I went to the library. I fixed some stuff up the other side. I watered some plants, did some stuff for Susie, and got a wriggle on with that thing there that I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. So anyway, okay, let's go. Now, these are the bottoms of my beehive, and I've seen a lot that, I can see this, that pile's going to go tatas. Wait a minute, let me just reduce it a little bit. Oh, and look, there's nothing wrong with the way anyone builds a beehive, because the bees don't care. But the fine furniture part of me looks at it, and if it's not right, it's not right. So this is in no way, shape or form casting any aspersions or making any comments on how other people make their bee boxes. If they're making them, they're happy with them, more power to them. This is just the obsessive fine furniture maker within me needs to be satisfied. Okay. Let me bring this other camera in here. And I have got some fine furniture to do, but these blinking bee boxes, I tell you, they have just possessed me, they have. But I suppose if you've got to obsess over something, obsessing over something that is good is not a bad thing. There we go. Now, for those of you that don't know how I put these together, first of all, I put no more gaps. This is a base. So I'll just get rid of this stuff. I'll put no more gaps around there. It's not necessary because the way this box goes together, it will seal it sufficiently anyway. But as I said, I do like overkill. I'm just going to knock a hole in that a bit bigger because it's just too small. There. That'll do. Okay. And you might wonder why it's coming out two colours. The only reason for that is because on the tops I put a dark brown because you see it. But on the inside you don't see it, and the difference between white no more gaps and coloured no more gaps is about $5. So where you don't see it, I will use the cheaper one. So, nah. Okay, here we go, let's rock and roll. It's a cruddy old vegetable brush, nothing to write home to mum about. And layer up the glue in. I have diluted this glue by about 10%, or not even that actually, but it's a lot runnier than when it comes straight out of the bottle. And the reason for that is because it spreads easier with a brush. It takes a little bit longer to dry maybe, but it really is easier doing it this way. I'm not worried about getting glue anywhere because once they're dry, they all get sanded off and cleaned off. And as I've said many, many times, I've never had a glue joint fail because I've put too much glue on there. but I've had a few fail because I didn't put enough glue on there. Okay, so there we go, that's all glued up. And then I put this like this here, that there. I get the top or the bottom and just place it up. Bit of a juggling act. After you've done a few, you get into a routine with it. When you haven't done them for a while, okay, here we go. All right, so it sits in there like that. And what I've done, I've allowed enough movement laterally, that is from side to side, that the timber can actually breathe, expand and contract. And the way I put these together, there goes my drawer, is with rubber bands. And depending how good the fit is, it depends how many rubber bands I put on there. And also the quality of the rubber bands. Okie dokie. So I've got a nice tight joint in there. That is allowed to move. It's got a slight amount of movement in it. Let me see if you can see that. It's got a little bit of movement in there, so that's fine. And the movement's going to be this way. It's not going to be that way. Now, these are the splines that I manufacture. And this is where a lot of the time goes, because these are fairly time consuming to make. Whoops. And I'll just pop them in there. Stir them around a bit. Pick them up, put them in the other way. And there you go. Now, if I can find an old piece of, little piece of scrap timber, which I should have around here somewhere. That bit there. Oh, that looks good. Bit of an overkill, a bit of ambonia. About $15 worth of ambonia. Okay. So now, these just get pushed down there. Like that. Oh. Sometimes they line up really easy, sometimes they don't. There you go. This is one of the things that I found, which is a big mistake, I think other people do as well as me, is if you don't machine everything up at the same time, that one's going to break. I'll come from the bottom on that one. What I've done here, I would say, is I've machined half of it, and then I've gone and reset the saw to do something else, and then come back a couple of days later, set the saw up to finish doing all the cuts, and it's just been a fraction out, and with that fraction out, it just doesn't. Oh yeah. go. Compressor will finish in a minute, I hope. Oh, come on! Has to be the slowest compressor in the world, this one. Thank you. Goodness gracious. Okay, so that's done. Now it's got goop and glue and rubbish all over it. So what I do now, this has two purposes. The first purpose is it cleans the glue off. Okay. Now that's come out a little bit, so I'm just going to put an extra couple of rubber bands on that. There we go. This cleans the glue off, but the other thing it does, if we can get a better picture of it there. Okay. It cleans the excess glue off the timber, which again isn't really an issue because it's going to get sanded anyway. But it does prevent you from clogging your sanding belts up. With my hives, what I've been told by experts, so it's not my own idea, is the native bees much prefer a rough interior than a smooth one. So mine I leave sawn on the inside, and by washing the glue out, or if there's no more gaps or anything, it actually raises the grain on the timber on the inside. So it gives the bees a more natural sort of feel. Instead of being dead smooth, they can get straight in there and start building, and their structures hang on, so I'm told, a lot better because there's more fibre for them to hang on to. So there you go, there's a little hint. And water, yeah, a lot of people are worried about putting water and wood together, but when you consider how wood's grown, water's not going to hurt it. And even the glue, if you've got that clamped well enough, the glue isn't going to deteriorate in any way, shape or form. All right, so that one's okay. I'll leave that and we'll start processing that in about 3 days' time. Okay, next one. Let me have a talk. I've seen you use a little jar with raw linseed oil in to lubricate your wooden planes. Is there any issue with it? No, not in the slightest. Although they do say you shouldn't leave it on a rag because it can explode. I've never seen it. I've never heard it happen to anyone. But that doesn't mean to say it won't or it hasn't. So err on the side of caution, and if you've got any rags that have got linseed oil on them, your best bet is, I generally throw mine just outside and they just dry out naturally. But yeah, a little bit, I've got, where's that block? Oh, I've got it up there. Oh yeah, there you go. I use this on my wooden planes a lot. And all it is a bit of PVA, and that's carpet underfelt, and that's dipped in raw linseed oil. So when I want to just lubricate my plane, I take that off, rub it on, and away I go. And now that's been sitting up there on and off for about 4 years, 5 years, and yeah, haven't had an issue with it. So all good. Oh, we're back on this one. One of the things I learned to build the beehives from my dad. Oh, look, I don't know about the honeybees, but these Australian stingless bees, they are just so much fun. I was out watching them today when I was watering I put some new shrubs in, some lily pillies, because I want to get a nice hedge going. And as I normally do, I stop by the beehive and just watch them work, and then all the girls are out filling their boots with pollen and busy as. And then there was a honeybee, big honeybee. And it was funny. She wanted something. I tell you what, she was hanging around the entrance. She was on the side. The other bees, the native bees, didn't take any notice to her. And then occasionally one would come out and just, the honeybee would have to be maybe 15, 20 times. 20 native bees would make up the size of this honeybee. And one of these little bees would just come out and just give him a nudge. Say, go on your bike, out of here. Yeah, this isn't where you belong. Oh, fair enough. And so it'd go away, and then sure enough, it'll come back later, about 5 minutes later. And so I don't know if it was trying to line up to pinch some honey or what. It was fun to watch. I thought I'd actually filmed it with my phone, but I hadn't. I'd just taken a photograph of it. And then when I figured out I was watching it on my phone, but actually it was a photograph, not a video. By the time I'd realised my mistake, it didn't come back. So there you go. Anyway, all good fun. Jared, I meant to ask you about the wheels on the box. Oh, the wheels look old, but they are actually, Jared made this gorgeous ottoman, and it had these wheels on it. And the question I asked him was, they look like old, railway carriage wheels. Not railway carriage, but in the olden days, when I was young, you'd go to the train platform, and the porters would have these carts, and they had these metal wheels like that. They'd push all your stuff around the platform with. So that was what that question was. I wondered if they were old-fashioned, and Jared's just answered that and said, no, they were rubber ones. So they're a lot quieter. Hi, Steve. Did you ever those bee boxes that are made with honey? No, I'm working on, from what I've heard, and again, I'm likely to get shot to pieces, and I don't know, I've only heard. Even though it's very convenient, apparently it can kill some bees when you're getting honey out. So I don't know how or why, but that's what I've heard. Also with the native honey, I just bought a book the other day. Sorry, I've forgotten his name. It's Greg. And excellent book. It was written, Dr. Tim Hurd's written an excellent book too called Australian Native Bees. And Greg wrote one, but not from the standpoint that Tim wrote it. It was more from a hobbyist point of view, and had some really great stuff in there. And he was saying a lot of people don't want to harvest honey, or they'll harvest honey once, and then they see how many bees die, and it could be in the hundreds, it could be in the tens, and so they don't want to harvest honey again. I am working currently on a project which will bring the bee carnage down to zero when you harvest honey. So that's in the pipeline at the moment. Plus I'm working on some other exciting things in collaboration with someone in Melbourne, Australia. For those of you who don't know, I'm in Brisbane, Australia, and Melbourne's right down the other end of the continent. But I had this idea the other day and I thought, oh, we'll give that a go. So I'm looking at that. I've also changed the way I connect these beehives, which I will show you at a later stage. I've still got a little couple of refinements to do on that. So it's been a good few months for me because I've learnt so much and experimented with so much, and I don't intend to change the way people think or whatever their predilection to beehives are, but from my point of view, I'm really thrilled that I've come up with something that is unique, but more importantly, it's something that has developed in my workshop. And if other people want to knock it off and use it, go for it. I like the idea. As my wife keeps saying to me, you never stop, do you? You've always got to, honestly, you do. You've got to keep pushing yourself and have a few failures. I was somewhere the other day, bless her heart, and I don't particularly like the mantle of being a master or anything like that, because I'm not. I'm just a bloke that really enjoys doing what he does. And this particular person said, yeah, but no, you're the guru we go to because you're the master when it comes to whatever it was. And then I said, no, all it means is I've made more mistakes than people that don't know quite as much as me. And that's what it's all about. It's not getting it right. It's making mistakes and working out different like that. I've just put all those in there and they've all glued up together. See? Another mistake, idiot. There we go. Whoop. See, this one's a lot less messier than the last one I did. So I said you get into a routine after a while. These also get covered up. That's why they're a concealed spline. You don't actually see them when the box is put together. Oh, yuck. Rags wet with woodworking chemicals. Yeah. Oh, caught something there. Good-a-boom. Here we go. See, I like them when they go in, but it's a long process to make these splines. There are other ways I could do it, yes. There's most likely quicker ways, but the thing I like about these, I'm going to lose one of these, I can see it. I can feel it in my bones. I don't want to use this, but I'm going to have to. It's one of my good chisels. Oh, see, look at that, lost it. Anyway, that happens. That happens. Yeah, the process of making those splines. Is that you? My Susie's just come down. Come over here. Can I just put this last one in before you shame me with your creative talent? Did it work out well? Are you happy with it? Oh, that is awesome. Hang on, wait a minute. We just got to show the peoples. Because I tell you this, all this stuff that's going on around the world, and I'm not going to get political, and I'm not going to get involved in the debate or anything like that, but I will make a comment. Let me just put this in here. Ah, gotcha. All right, I'll wash that in a tick. Yeah, what's happened, which from our point of view, we've got a beautiful granddaughter, never met her, talk to her sometimes on video chat, and she lives in Canada. And she's going, you know, stir crazy as a lot of people are, being shut down. And the other day, she obviously didn't have much to do, and she was on Messenger, and Susie was on Messenger, and so she started talking to her nan and asked her what she was doing. And as I'm always down here doing woodwork, Susie's always up in her shed, her workshop. You should see it. It's huge. Making quilts. And a beautiful granddaughter said, "Hey, Nanny, would you make me one?" And she said, "Yes, what would you like?" And you can come here, don't show yet.
No.
And she said, "Oh, I like cats." And she's a really, really talented young girl, more than me. Must take after her mother. Sorry, there's my son. And she does cartoon drawings. And she's, how old is she? 14, 15?
Nearly 14.
Nearly 14. And in lockdown, she decided she'd give her artistic talents a bit of a workout, and she's been drawing these cartoons. So I have another son. In fact, I've got 3 talented sons. 5 if you include the other 2. They just don't know it yet. And he can do digitising. So what Susie did was downloaded some of these cartoons that our granddaughter had put up on Facebook, and my other son, who's a techni whiz, he digitised it. And what camera? Hang on, let me see. There you go. Well, I'll show you first and then we'll do a close-up. And this is her cartoon character she drew and put up on Facebook. And then my son digitised it, and Sue just embroidered it on this panel, which she's going to make a quilt out of for our granddaughter with all her own drawings. Isn't that marvellous? How many stitches in that one?
Just over 41,000.
41,000 stitches. There you go. So you're clever old
And it took 2 hours.
Yeah, but it took 14 years for her to ask you.
Absolutely.
And this one, I've got to tell you.
Oh.
No, because I like embarrassing you, because you're good fun. What? I don't know, all right, you can embarrass yourself. What happened when she asked you if you could make her a quilt?
I said, of course you can.
No.
All right, it brought a tear to my eye.
She was Suki Lala. She was blubbering like a loose jelly in a strong wind. It was good. Mwah! So, because I love you for that.
And the
you're
next
the best
day
man.
she said, "I'm so happy, Nanny." I said, "Yeah, so am I, honey."
Isn't that lovely? So with all this lockdown and everything that's going on, that's a good news story. We've reconnected or connected with our granddaughter, and we've got this beautiful channel of communication, and her art pieces are being digitised. And I would imagine this quilt, when it's finished, and most likely be finished before the music stands or the bed, but we won't mention the bed. She sent me a reminder the other day. This is your memory on Facebook, the start of a bed 6 years ago. Yeah, was getting there. What are they saying about you? They're mostly saying nice things, because they say nice things about you. Louise says hi. Trevor says good day. Louise says that's cute. Oh, what have we got? Oh. Steve, did you... Oh, Desmond Doss, that's it, Trev. Thanks, mate. Yeah, Desmond Doss. Fantastic. Great story. I was in tears over that last night. I was telling Susie the story. I couldn't hold it together. I kept on choking up, didn't I, about that medic? And just, yeah, it's wonderful. Well, there you go, T-Bone. I chuck mine outside. But where we go. There is proof it does happen. Mick, it's not spontaneous. It takes time for oils to react with the oxygen build-up heat until they reach ignition. Well, thanks for that, Mike. Is it Mick or Mike? Glad to hear you got the bee population. I developed a liking for my great uncle's honey. It's wild. Yeah. But A lot of my friends like, yeah, we know what that is. I bet you it's like cold tea, is it, Trev? Sick note said you're gluing long grain to cross grain. Your boxes will self-destruct. Hang on. Aha! No, they won't. I'll show you why. All right. Shake it, darling. No, love you much. Bye. Oh, and that is exactly why I said these things take so long. Because good pickup, sick note, but not having all the information. There you go. That is why they take so long and they are so susceptible to breakage, because they're actually end grain. If I've got a broken, there you go. There you go. End grain snaps really easily. But that is why they're end grain in there, because as this expands and contracts, these expand and contract at the same rate, or a very similar rate. Good pickup, sick note, but for once, I was ahead of you. I thought that through. And as you can imagine, they take quite a bit to actually do, because being so fragile, the process I use is what do? I resaw them, and then I glue them, and then I put them in a press, and then I put them through a drum sander. They go through a drum sander, then they go on to a disc sander, and then they get ripped to width on a bandsaw, and then they get used. So you can understand maybe why when I came across that lock mitre bit, I was so impressed, because it's going to save me so much time. I didn't know they made lock mitre joints as big as that one, so I was pretty happy when I found it. And as you most likely gathered, I've got two, so I can have one out and sharpen it and still have the other one in there. So I like having backups of things, just in case. Oh dear. Oh, let me do this to there and that to there, and that can go there. Oh. Okay, let's do another one. Jared, I think I may have a knife out of the chop saw blade my dad and I just took off the other day. You might have a knife out. You mean you're going to make a knife out of the blade, or you are missing one of the teeth? You still there, Theo? Or you infirmed in your bed? It's not going to get any more exciting than what I'm doing at the moment, because I've got to do them. But if you're happy to watch, I'm happy to chat. The other thing I'm really happy about is this is Western Red Cedar I'm using now, which is absolutely spectacular, but it is getting prohibitively expensive to use, to sell at a price that people will be happy to pay. So I've just changing over to plantation grown, I don't know what, plantation grown Japanese cedar, which is quite nice. What's everyone else doing? You got any projects on the go you want to talk about? Oh, I tell you what, this looks like, you remember, I don't know if you can still get it. You used to be able to get soft serve ice cream with chocolate and vanilla or I used to sell those machines actually. That was one of my jobs eons ago. Used to be a company called Taylor Freezer, and they supply all the soft serve machines to McDonald's and Hungry Jack's. So there you go. Boom, ba-dum, boom. La-da-dee-dee-da-dum. Oh yes, so you're making a knife out of the blade. There's good steel in there too, Jared. Don't forget to temper it afterwards. Have you got a forge, or are you just going to do it with the grinder and a file? I was referring to the bottom of the box glued to the sides. Okay, no, that's not an issue, because if you'll see here, that isn't glue. It's a product called No More Gaps, and it's a flexi filler. So it actually moves, so it's not glued. There is enough give in that to allow it to do this. Plus, I've got a 5mm gap all the way round on the inside of this. So, I can't show you, but yeah, there's enough movement in there that it's not held fast and it's not glued into place. In fact, if I push that up to there, now I'll do it with one that I haven't glued up, and you'll see that there is a lot of slop in there. And the only reason I'm putting it down this end is not to glue it, but it just acts as a barrier in case. That'll teach me to talk, won't it? I didn't glue those other sides. Whoops. In case pests get in. I really shouldn't talk and glue. Anyway, I'll be there in a minute. The bottom was easy enough to work out. The top, that created a lot of thinking time to do that, because the tops are flush. And you can't have a rebate, obviously, where it's flush, because it can't be locked in. Up. There. Bum, ba-dum, bum. Okie dokie. La-da-dee-dee-da-da-dum. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. So, I know I'm harping on it. That panel in there is actually a floating panel. But I've got no more gaps just to prevent pests from getting in if they did. But from what I'm told, they won't get in because they can't do a 90-degree turn. So I don't know if that's true or not, and I'm not taking a chance. Boom, boom, boom. Whoop. Oh, you personage. I like them when they go in. And it's nice to have people to talk to while I'm doing it. Oh dear. So yeah, when you see them finished and they're all polished, it's very hard to imagine that they were as messy as these are. But there you go, they are. A few more steps to go before they finally get finished. But this is one of the major steps. Oh dear. What have we got? Bench grinder and a file. That's the way to do it, Jared. What's the HOA where I live would have a fit if you had a forge. No, the forges are okay. It's the anvils that drive people nuts. So I was looking around my workshop the other day. I think there's 2 forges I'm going to sell, plus maybe 1 or 2 leg vices. I've got what I like, and everything's sort of led to what I'm doing now. So I thought, well, I don't need all those other ones. And then I've got a heap of tools I want to get rid of too. I've got thicknesses and table saws and, where is it? What else? Thicknesses, table saws. A few things, I can't remember what the other ones are. I'll get out there in the next couple of weeks and stick them on Gumtree. Oh, that's good. That's a good pickup though, the thick note. Absolutely. It's taken me the best part of a year to actually iron the wrinkles out of these things. And I'm still learning. I'm still experimenting and diversifying. Really excited about the new venture, which when I get it up and running, I'll share it with you good people. I'm just waiting for some things to arrive, as I said, from Melbourne, and then I can be about it. There we go. Put that there, get one of these. Yeah. Also, the other thing which is good with this timber is, I don't know if you can see, let's grab this one here. Nearly all of it is quarter sawn, so I've got minimum shrinkage on any of the grain. I've orientated the wood, so it's, if it's not 100% quarter sawn, it's within the scope of what they sell as quarter sawn, which again, from my understanding, is anything greater than 60 degrees. They now sell as quarter sawn. And quarter sawn means that's the most desirable cut of wood to minimise timber movement. It's definitely not the prettiest. The prettiest is back sawn or crown cut. But to minimise movement, quarter sawn is the one you're after. And quarter sawn also, with medullary rays, such as leopard wood, macadamian, leopard wood, macadamian, she oak, silky oak, anything with medullary rays, quarter sawn will give you the best pattern. But on straight grain timbers like cedars and pines, no, not so much, well, maybe poplar, you get a much prettier grain if it's back sawn, or cathedral cut as they call it. So it just depends what you're going for. I much prefer, if I can, to work quarter sawn, because a lot of my work I incorporate veneer with, and the veneer I put on a structural ply. So for me, the beauty is in the veneer, and I want the cabinetry timber to basically be straight grain, so it can do its job and not interfere with the veneer visual effect, if you like, if that makes sense. But I've got to pull my finger out because I've got, excuse me, bit of cotton. I've got a lot that I have to do because I'm way behind on projects and videos that I've promised to do, and it hasn't been because I'm slack. It's just, well, okay, I'll admit maybe disorganised, but a lot of stuff happening around the house as well, and with what's going on. There we go. See you, Trev. Vince, have a good day, guys. Got to see you, Vince. Catch you later, mate. Oh, what else we got? Oh, I like them when they go in. That's nice. What is like that in the T-bone? Oh, you're a bad man. In a good way. Morning, Hugo. How you going? Thanks for dropping by. Not much exciting happening here today. I'm just got to put these jobs together. So, oh, look at that one. That was a nice one. I had a student the other day, and they'd never seen me use the rubber bands before, and they were making a box. And I said, okay, we'll just join the box up. And they sort of gave me that, what? How? And looking at clamps, and I've got another workshop that I teach in. This is my workshop down here. And as a rule, I don't let students in here because they want to use the stuff I've got and I don't want them to use it. Anyway, I did the thing with the rubber band and they were just, oh, that's unreal. Good stuff. What was the, oh, the other thing I was, here we go. I had to try and get a part for my more so picture framing guillotine, if you know what one of those is. And I rang the agent up and they said, oh yeah, okay, it's a picture framing guillotine. Yeah, it's not hard. Picture framing. Okay, now what do you use it for? I said, well, what do you normally use them for? Oh, it's the picture frame guillotine, yes. So you're using it to do pictures, and I I just had to throw her a curveball and said, no, I actually use it to make beehives. And I don't know if she thought I was joking or not. Oh dear. You got to have a laugh whenever you can get it. Oh, where's this one here? There we go. Go on, get in there. The other thing I'm really enjoying, which I haven't got any to show you, but as I said, I'm changing over to, when all this stock's gone, Japanese cedar, and the lengths I've got are 3.6 metres, which, for example, this box, it's all made out of the one length. It comes in at 1 metre and 40 is what I cut them at, and then that'll give me continuity of timber colour when I can. Sometimes when I've got to use the shorts, that doesn't always happen. I just have to match the colour variation as best I can. But with this Japanese cedar, it's 3.6 metres, so I can get this, with these hive, oh, it's strong. There's 3 boxes to a hive. And now, because I've got those good lengths, I can actually make a full set of hives out of the one piece of timber, so it's nice and uniform. Which again, I don't know. To me, I get a thrill out of it, and I think it's nice. To the other people in the room, it might be, oh, who cares? But I do, and that's that, I guess. Isn't that right, Louise, if you're still there? And that last box you did, I liked. Okay, we're getting better. Nearly halfway there. Oh, ah. A bit of goop off the top. There we go. Oh. This is normally stuff I do at night time, and I just get tired. And I'm starting to get a bit weary now. Nah, I thought I might be able to trick myself, but I can't. The only reason I'm doing this is, again, I've discovered sometimes that initial glue up that I do has bits of end grain standing proud. So when I do the second glue up, it doesn't sit down nicely and creates a gap, which is something that I don't want. Whoops. What was I looking at the other day? Old bowl savers. If you're a wood turner, you can get one great big lump of wood, and with this particular tool, get 3 or 4 bowls out of the one bit of wood. Not for me, but I thought it was interesting. I reckon Theo would have one of those. I've got to ask him one day. Oh dear. Plain sawn or flat sawn, that'll work. Whatever floats your boat, T-Bone. Yeah, I found they treat my tools down here just as bad as they treat my tools up there. And it's funny, isn't it? Oh, I'll just open this tin of paint and they pick up a $150 chisel to try and do it. Yeah, good on you. What did I get the other day, Jared? I had something, I thought, oh, I'll make a knife out of that. Oh, I know, I've got a friend who's a farrier. So he gives me a lot of horseshoes that I can blacksmith and play with and make ornaments. And I got half a dozen old rasps from him, and they're apparently very good for knives. So that's something I'll experiment with. Although I must admit, this winter I haven't done much blacksmithing. I think I've lit the forge maybe 8 times, whereas last year I was getting into it nearly every day. Oh, I suppose I've just got a heap of other things to do. Rough side down. Pop that in there. That in there. This on the end. Oh, I did it again, didn't I? Look at that, you idiot. Got to stop doing that. There we go. Make sure you don't get paper caught up there either. I think we can go for another bit of paper after this glue up. If I did it, I am a bad boy. I did. Look. Oh, yuck. It'd be really nice to have another pair of hands sometimes. And again, this is coming from the fact that I've machined these on 2 separate days, and they're about 1/2 millimetre out, which is a nuisance. That's what I hate when you're halfway through doing something and someone goes, oh, can you just do this for me? It'll only take you a minute. And being the kind-hearted bloke that I am, yeah, righto. And then I change all the settings on the machine and can never get them back to exactly how they were before. Get it close. Oh, this is close. That's not as dirty and disgusting as it looks. That colour on there is actually furniture wax. I tell you what, I got into listening to Ed Sheeran the other day and his new song called Bad Habits. Oh, I just love it. It's buzzing in my head. And I thought, oh, I'll go and have a look at the video clip. I got to tell you, great song. How it fits into that video clip has left me absolutely spellbound. I have got no idea. I cannot see the relationship between the song and the video clip. But maybe that's just me. Okay. Get in there. Oh, now we're having a win. I think we are. There you go. Oh. Oh, g'day, how are ya? Blue, lovely to see you. Is it cold down there? Or are you off and about again? I was looking at fostering dogs here, well actually it was today, and I thought, no, can't do it, not ready. Oh, there we go. I have decoy tools in my garage on the wall. Yeah, I like it when someone comes and borrows something, or when you want it back, they think they're lending it to you. Yeah, good on you. No. But this new thing I'm not going to say what it is until I start actually using it, but oh, I can see so many applications for it. And lending tools is one of them. Absolutely. Okay. Let's pull this one in here. So I've got a gap there. So I'm just going to have to put a few more rubber bands on it. I buy these in bulk and they really are good. Okay. I don't know if you saw that before. That's all pulled in now. Ah, what did we get to? Boards, mate, g'day, boards! Becoming one with the glue up? Oh, absolutely. I much prefer hide glue, but what can I tell you? It's not real good when it comes to waterproofing things. don't mind being one with the glue up, but I just don't want to be part of the glue up. Oh, I just said we're going to have new paper, didn't I? Okay, let's get some new paper. That's it, we've got a big budget, we can afford it. So what have I got coming up? I've got some more TV shows. I don't know how I'm going to make them. I don't know whether I'll stream as I'm making them. Or I'll stream part of them while I'm making them, but there's a few projects that I've promised people I'd put into a TV show. So that's what's going to be happening down the track. Let me just fill this up again. I think at the moment, though, I know there'll be aired in Melbourne and Adelaide, possibly overseas. I don't know, there's a company that takes them overseas. I don't know where exactly they show them. It's somewhere over in the States. We'll see. Oh, but one of them I'm looking forward to doing, which I really wanted to have it done. Let me just go and get some more paper. I wanted to have it done by May this year, but I haven't even started it. It's a chest, which I think I've spoken about before. A linen chest, 15th century with, what do you call it? Linen fold, carving, and it's going to be made out of oak. And I just came across a new supplier of oak the other day. I've got enough oak here to do it, but he's got European oak, which is very, very nice. Don't know. We'll see. Okay, where are we up to? Richard, yeah, no, sorry, yep, he's gone. He did. It was not nice circumstances, and it knocked me around. It knocked me around, Richard, it really did. I'd love to get another dog, but at the moment, no. I don't want to put myself through that again. But thanks for asking. I'm sure he's still around. Okay. Although without Bob here, the hide glue's lasting a lot longer. And the other positive, if you could say there was a positive, I have noticed an increase in wildlife in the backyard. What am I looking for? Oh, one of these. So I've got a lot of birds in there now, which is really nice. Let me just do this one. I told you this wasn't going to be very exciting. But, like, in all honesty, the majority of woodwork isn't exciting. It's just laboriously doing the same thing. And maybe doing it again because it didn't turn out right. It's funny, you know, Marta. It's been, I don't know, I couldn't even tell you the date that Bob went. I was traumatised, and that's not an over-exaggeration, I tell you. But even just the mention of him, yeah, I could just feel the tears at the back of me head. And of course, Facebook Yeah, though we want you to know your memories. Yeah, good on you. I reckon 3 out of 5 have got Bob in them. Anyway. Oh dear. Saw a great cartoon the other day. I don't know if it was related or what, but there's St. Peter up at the pearly gates, and this guy's walking on, and there's this dog jumping up and down. And he says, "Oh, Spot, is this Henry who you've been talking about for so long?" Oh, I love it. There's not much to talk about when you're doing this, is there? I'll get back in there in a tick. It's just like watching grass grow. There we go. And another one's gone, and another one's... What was that? Queen, wasn't it? Another one bites the dust. Ah, no! I've got to stop doing that. I keep on pushing in with my apron and consequently get gunk on it. Whenever you drop something like I just did then, just make sure you haven't got any rubbish on your glue joint, because you won't get a good seal otherwise. Okay. Better get some more rubber bands. Oh, what a bonus. Look at that. Rubber bands in the same fridge as Tim Tams. Yeah. Look, on special for 90 cents, coffee flavoured Tim Tams. My dear wife got me a carton of them. Good girl. Don't understand it, but rubber bands keep for so long if you put them in the fridge. I've got some rubber bands I've had for 4 or 5 years, and they're still okay being in the fridge. These obviously are brand new ones. The size I'm using, I think they're 107s. I get them from an online stationery shop, because regular stationery shops don't seem to carry them anymore. Perhaps they're not popular. Get in there. Whoop. There we go. What have we got? T-Bone, any good ideas for use of an old railway spike? Yeah, hey, check them out. Go on and have a look at images of oyster openers. There's a big market, or whatever you call it, interest in, people have turned the railway spikes into oyster shuckers. I don't know how they do it. I've got a couple of spikes up in the forge, and oh no, the amount of work that goes into flattening it out to make a blade. If you had a pneumatic or a drop hammer, you might be okay, but just with a hammer on an anvil, forget it, Charlie. I think they're selling for maybe $100 and something. But the amount of time you put into it, I want more than $100. So that's a good use for them. They're definitely a good steel, very, very hard. Got to heat them up too to be able to whack them. I ended up heating them in the gas forge because it was easier than doing it in the coal-fire forge. If I can do this without breaking, I'll be happy. I'm happy so far. Ah! Gotcha. Okay. And again, what you might not have seen before, because I didn't press the right thing, but there's a gap in that one. So we'll just pull that in with more rubby bands. G'day, Jamie, how are you? Thanks for dropping in for a chat. The more the merrier. Oh, what was that? Any good ideas? Mate, I'm good. It's pretty mild, but very wet. Any snow down there? I went with you. Oh, dear. Yeah, but does he enjoy the cold? That's the main thing. There we go. Okay. Let's clean this off. I like a samoa up here, but wouldn't be fair to him. What was that, Richard? Bench is just as messy as I remember. Oh no, I think it might be worse. It could be worse. The bench behind me is definitely worse. Got to take that pressure pump back up to the top shed. I was doing a stream the other day for someone else, and it was hilarious. I'm pretty sure it was someone else. Someone got on that I hadn't seen before, and they said, wow, a real woodworking channel with a real workshop, much better than those staged ones. So I took that as a compliment. But it does get to the stage where even I can't navigate around here, and I have to take some time off to clean up. Which I almost did the other day, almost cleaned up, that is. I did clean up, so you see the saw table, it's got rubbish all over it. But I just get, I get single-minded when I'm on a project, just got to do it. And then it doesn't matter anything else, you just got to keep on plugging away. And then, all right, I'll have a rest, I'll clean up, I'll do what I have to do. Give it 2 or 3 days and it's back to what it was. But I don't know about that. You know that saying they used to, once I worked for the government, once. And they used to hit us with, keep your desk tidy. A tidy desk is a tidy mind. Yeah, well, I'm sorry. Tidy workshop means you haven't got any work. Okay, that's good enough for that one. Oh, I'll show you that corner again. It's all nice and tight now. I can feel the home would stretch. Oh dear. Oh, that's interesting. Which one's that? In case you're wondering what the numbers are, so they've got numbers on them, that's because they come out of the one piece of timber. This one actually didn't. This one was one I had to match up because it was made out of shorts. but then I still mark them. So I wonder if that glue's toxic. If it has seen me stream again, it is. It's sort of great. Post. Again on Facebook, and it was Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones leaning down with his guitar, talking to a little boy. He's about 6, and the caption was Keith Richards teaching Willie Nelson how to play the guitar. Well, it appealed to me. I thought it was funny. You just got to have a laugh. I've got a sign in my office and it says life is too short to be taken seriously. And yeah, I did take it seriously once and didn't do me much good. So now I just have fun. Jamie, I've said that. T-Bone and I have seen people make knives. Yep, raised bench, yep. And, I lost my during the lockdown and went, oh, yeah. Yep. You've just got to occupy yourself, don't you, Richard? I am sure there is a tape of that somewhere going around. Richard, what happened for those uninitiated? I use hide glue, right, which is basically this stuff here, and it's, I mean, you can see that dribbling out. You can see it's, let's go here. All right. You can see this, it's hot. You can see the steam coming off it. What it is basically gelatin or sinew off the skins, generally of cows, and boiled down. It's just to put you off if you enjoy jelly or jello. It's exactly the same stuff. It's called gelatine, only that is an unrefined form of jello or jelly. And what happened was, I think Theo was here. We were doing a joint stream, and I just got to concentrate while I do this. And Theo being Theo, right, he makes a mess. You hearing that? He makes a mess on the lathe. It's just nothing but dust and shavings. And I was at my bench doing whatever I was doing, and I wanted some glue. So I went over here to get the glue pot, and it had all this cream and orangey sort of stuff on the top. And I thought it was the shavings from Theo using the lathes on the bench next to me. So I grabbed the air gun, thought I'll just blow that off, and I went like that, and went like that, squirted it. And no, it wasn't shavings at all. The hide glue had putrefied and liquefied, and that was mould on the top. And consequently, when I gave it a shot of compressed air, it sprayed back in my face, in my hair, all over my apron. Bob thought it was just the best thing because it stunk so much. And yeah, it was hilarious. I'm pleased you brought that up, Richard. Thank you so much. Dear. I'm just going to clean this chisel because these are me good chisels. I shouldn't be using them. I should be using them. But what do you call them? Vinny? Your decoy chisels. Yeah, I should be using my decoy chisels. I will. I'll get one. There you go. Yeah, I'll use it. These, I bought these. These are Marples Blue Chip. Oh, crikey. 94, I think I bought those. And they did so much work. 94, what's that? 94, 2004, 24, 20, gee whiz, nearly 30 years ago. And they did absolutely great work, and then I was lucky enough to meet the chap that makes those custom-made chisels I've got now, and I switched over to them. And I think in between times I use the Robert Sorby gilt-edge ones too. I quite like them, especially for fine work. Anyway. Now, Tim Tam went in my mouth. Now, it was a bit of ambonia that I stuck that in with. All right, anything that's on the bench is fair game. I do have to concentrate. I've nearly finished this batch. What I do, I've found for me, and this is something if you're going to do runs or production runs of, and I'm sure boards you agree, there is an optimum number that you can do that makes it economical. And that varies. It varies from job to job and person to person. So there's no mean that I can say, oh, 3 is the magic number. It's not. You have to work it out for yourself. For me, doing these beehives, I like doing them in batches of 9. I find if I do them in batches of 6, it's, well, it's not satisfying and it's too quick. Whereas if I try doing them in batches of 12, it takes too long. And with repetitious work, somebody, oh, my back. What I saw the other day, said, you know, when you hit a certain age, no one tells you rigor mortis starts to set in while you're still alive. Oh, nasty stuff. Yeah, you find an optimum number. And 9 works for me on these. And if I've tried to do 10, it's just a little bit too much. And what happens when you're doing repetitious work, your mind goes a bit dull and wanders. And if you forget what you're doing, that's when you have errors and you can hurt yourself. I'll see if I can get this one working the right way. That one goes down. That one goes in there. That one goes, nah, come here. That one goes there. Ha! See? I'm at the end of the run and I'm starting to learn. That one goes in, that goes there. Then I can push it. Wonderful. And I don't get it all over my apron. So yeah, it's worth thinking about if you've got a lot. I did, didn't I? If you've got a lot to do, or if you're going to make something, it doesn't matter if it's chopping boards or drink coasters or chairs. Work out. That's what I used. I didn't use the Tim Tam, I used that. Work out what, you mutt. You know why that happened? Because I left it in the glue and it started to go off. And all of a sudden it's not slippery anymore. There you go. It's because I was talking. Yeah, work out what is the best number for you, and it's a good way to keep yourself safe. And as much as it may appear I'm a bit blasé, I really am not. It's just I've been doing this for so long. What people think, oh, that's not safe. It's safe because I actually know what I'm doing, and I've been doing it for a long time. But it doesn't necessarily mean someone can copy exactly what I do. So if you see me do some things, don't go, oh, that's a great idea. You work out your way of doing it. And it might even be better than the way I do it. I don't know. This process I'm doing now, it took me, hang on. It took me well over 12 months to come up with this, and now I've got to the stage I've got it down pat. I'm completely changing the way I do them because it's going to be more efficient from my point of view. Ah, you mutt. That hurts when you, what is that, twice? That hurts when you got your finger between the block and the box. And you push down, let's go the other way. Instead of trying to push that all the way down, we'll do it this way. There we go. And again, I've got a big gap there, but if you notice, there I've got a massive gap. But I also haven't got any elastic bands in the middle or the bottom, so I'm going to put those on now. And that, hopefully, is going to pull it all in, which is what we want. Oh dear. Oh yeah, they do all sorts of things with those spikes, but the that's like the game Mousetrap. I hit something, and that is whatever you call it here. Ice cream carton, hit the remote control, hit my pair of earmuffs, hit a drawer, fell off, hit something else, and that, oh, great, isn't it? Okay. What are we up to? Oh! I was looking for Tim Tams today, no luck. Guess I'm going to try and experience whole food type places. They are whole food too. Oh, what was the other one I got the other day? Raspberry and black chocolate, and dark chocolate. Oh, yeah, baby. Very nice. Okay, if you have a look at that now, I've got rubber bands all the way around. Got pretty good tight joints. That's a little bit open on the inside. Which one? Here. Well, I'm going to lose any sleep over that. Because, and the other thing with this technique is, providing I've got glue on these miters, if there is a slight gap, it doesn't matter on the inside because I've got this spline in here which is acting as a barrier to pests. That'll prevent them from getting in. La da dee dee, da 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 da. Okie dokie. Got to be getting close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 more to go. Well, that pile's getting down nicely, which is good. Oh, let me have a chin wag. Oh, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Well, I tell you what, Vinny, just for you, mate, I'll have another one, all right? This is for you. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to enjoy it for you. Oh, nice. I should have another coffee, shouldn't I? It's been a couple of hours. On the downhill run. What's in the chalking gun? No more gaps. What it's used for is, these are the base of the beehives. So it's a floating bottom, so it's not going to split because I'm giving it an opportunity to move. But what I do with the no more gaps, because that's flexible, that will allow any expansion or contraction of, look at that, I've run out, of the base, but also acts as a barrier to pests if any pest were to get in there, which I don't really want. Let me just see, I should have more of it. Where is it? Oh, wait a minute, I was going to get another tube. Hang on. Oh, that's handy. What a box full of it. Doesn't matter, I'll put another colour in. Should be right. I'll use that colour because I don't use that colour very often. Oh, we'll use this colour. Oh, come here, you. Oh, yep, that'll do. Oh, you don't see it. Honestly, this stuff, it's the same as when you're doing wood putty. Always use a darker colour than the timber around it. That way it won't be so noticeable. Because if you use a light one, it will stick out and be so noticeable. And then over time, the timber's going to darken anyway. Whereas if you use a light colour I mean, what I'm doing here, it doesn't matter because you don't see it. But if it was, I'll show you in a tick. I'll just do the other side of this and I'll show you what I mean. If you use a light one, as the timber darkens, the filler will not darken and it can look quite unsightly. Now there goes a siren. I don't know what for, but it's a siren. Let me see if I can find a dark. Okay, here you go. So these are the tops. And as you can see, I've used a dark filler on the edges there. But then when they darken, it doesn't stick out as much as if it was light. So that's the rationale behind that idea. Whoop. Bum, ba-dum, bum. There you go. Goes there, that goes there, and this one can go. There. And as well as that, no more gaps is better. A 5mm gap between this panel and the outside, so it has got that opportunity to expand if it needs to. But honestly, rubber bands, that would be the best clamps going, I think. Definitely the cheapest. And the thing is, you get nice, even pressure all the way around with them. Oh, that's looking a bit sus. Yep, thought so. This one, I have, again, for whatever reason, not done them all in one batch. And if you have a look at that hole there, it is a lot bigger than that hole there. So I'm going to have to cut one of these down to do that last bit. But it's at the end of the day, and it's getting to the end of the job. So we'll sort it. Yeah, this way, even though I'm very happy with the result, it's very labour intensive, as you can tell. Okay, so I'm going to have to just machine two of those up. Make them a bit smaller, so I'll go over to the let's go over to the bandsaw in a minute and redo them. No, I think I'm going to have to do it to three of them, which is a big nuisance. So this one I'm going to take out. So, well, that's not bad. I don't know, I've done 8 of them and haven't had a drama, so for one of them caused me a drama now, I suppose it's fair. nuisance. But fair. All right, let's go over the bandsaw and just rip a few of these. And I shall be, oh, you can watch me, there you go. We can do that, we have the technology. Let me just change that one around. And I've got new cables in the other day, so we can do this. There you go. Look at that. Just a little bit smaller. And that one just broke. There we go. Hopefully that'll do it. Let's spin this around. Go back to there. A bit more of that one too. That might do it. It's what I love about live streams. If it doesn't work out, it don't work out. You just got to roll with it. Yeah, which one is that? Okay, we'll do this one first. And well, this is real time, a real job, and a real situation that you had to adjust to. It just goes to show things don't always go smoothly. But there's no point in getting agitated or panicky about it. You just got to go with it. And work with it and work through it. Is that going to work, or is it? Oh, it might be okay. Might be okay. There you go, we had a win. Had a win. Couple more around there and bring it in. That's good. Yuck. We can do with a new bit of paper. Well, there you go. There's nice and tight all the way around, top and bottom. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm getting tired, folks. I've forgotten to wash it. So last one coming up. Last one coming up. And again, that magic number for me, building these, is 9. I'm just about over it, and I've got one more to do, and that's my 9. So if I did those each day, 9 separate boxes, say 5 days a week, or 6 days a week if I do 9, that gives me a couple of full sets each week that are ready to go. And it's much easier working that way, I've found, rather than, oh God, I've got to make 15 sets of hives, and 15 hives is 45 boxes. 45 boxes is 180 joints, or 180 splines you've got to put in. And believe me, you don't want to do that in one setting, because it'll just drive you insane. And your fingers hurt putting them in, because there's pressure on your thumb pad all the time. You can't always use Tim Tams to punch them in. Yes, I know I said you can't always use Tim Tams. Okay, there we go. Oh, I'm the lucky last one. No, darn the expense. I'll use new paper. You know, pre-internet, me being here talking to myself, I'd be carted away as a nut job. Now, that's not to say people don't consider me a nut job still, but I feel as if I'm quite sane because there are people watching. Look at that. It's all glued together. Oh. There we go. Oh. Where? A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oh. Where are we going? Oh. I'm half an hour behind the chat. All right, what are we up to? Tim Tam cream. What's in the chalking gun? Okay. The glue just matches the colour of your locks of wisdom. Dear Buzzer, I know that's not true because Steve wouldn't be waiting. You know me too well, Marta. Oh dear. I love Tim Tams. So to me grandkids, used to be good when they were young. The coffee pods lasted a lot longer. And so did the Tim Tams. Now I buy coffee pods. First thing the grandsons do, get up, they've got to have a coffee. You can't have a coffee without a Tim Tam. And you can't just have one Tim Tam if Nan's not watching. And they all like different styles of coffee. So Nespresso's doing really well out of me lately. Now, I love No More Gaps, but you need to know that if you get it on your socks and put them on your shoes, your socks will stick. Hey, that's good advice, Martha. I'd really try. I do enjoy experimenting, but I try not to do glue-ups with my feet because I find it just creates havoc. Not only that, it means I've got to bend down when I'm having a shower and clean my feet. And the old back doesn't like doing that much nowadays. That was where high glue and Bob was so good. If you dropped any, he used to clean it up. A little glue liquor. This is the last one. Yay! And then, what's the time? Nearly 5 o'clock. So I think I'll go and answer all my emails and catch up on other stuff. And then tomorrow, I'll glue up another 9 of these. In fact, I think I've got 9, I've got another 27 down near my feet. I have to glue up. Midsection as well as bases. I've got all the tops done. To me, the tops are the hardest. It's funny that the tops are the hardest to glue up, but the midsection take the most amount of time. Oh, look at that, someone's ringing me. If it's an 03, it's got to be, let's find out. Oh, hello, this is Steve.
Hi, it's Serena from Angel Folding. How are you?
Oh, I'm well.
That's good. So I've spoken to two of our techs and showed them the photos.
Yeah.
Neither of them have ever seen that part before. They think that it actually looks like it comes off of a Dryden machine.
No, they're definitely both,
Yeah.
oh, whatever I'm looking down at. Yeah, they're both coming off of Morsos.
Yeah. We've never seen that part ever.
Well, that's interesting because I've got 2 Morsos and they're both fitted with the same part.
Serious?
Serious? All right.
Wow.
I will endeavour to do something else, or I'll cast one myself.
Yes. Yeah, no, we've never. Do you know what the serial number is on the machine?
Excuse me for a bit. I'm just live streaming. You say hello to the world. Where would it be?
It's usually, like on that semicircle, like at the front of the machine.
Yeah.
The semicircle, there's a number stamped in there.
Oh, here we go. I've got 2, 2, 3, 3, 1, 0.
2, 3, 3.
It's either that or 2. It's 2, 3, 3 or 2, 5, 3, 1, 0. No. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's just the actual serial number is the number of the machine that it is, like that it's been made.
Okay.
So it's just that, like, I've got a customer that has like a number 21, so it was the 21st machine also ever made, so it's like nearly 100-year-old model.
Okay.
So I was just curious as to how old that was, but it's not that old of a machine.
I've had it.
Still old, but it's not as ancient as I thought it might be.
Yeah, no, I am, but the machine's not. 25310 is the number. I've had it for about 12 years, and someone had it before me.
Yeah.
All right, no dramas. I'll look into it.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't help you.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call back. Bye.
All good, thanks, bye.
Well, that's interesting. I'm trying to get a machine for a part for my, whatever you may call it, picture framing, guillotine, and this. It's saying they've never heard of it. That's like saying, look, I've got a Holden and it's got a flat tyre, and they'll go, well, what part's flat? You say, well, the tyre. Well, we've never seen a tyre on a Holden in our life. I'll go and check it out. Oh dear. But, worst case scenario, I've got a furnace up in the blacksmithing shop. I can just melt some aluminium and I'll cast one myself. There you go. What a load of toss. Anyway, that was nice of her to ring me back. I appreciate that. Oh no. Oh yes. I thought it was too fat. No, it's all right. 'Tis good. Okay. Ba-dum-bum. Okie dokie. Yeah, let me just get this on and I'll read those comments. How close am I? I'm still half an hour off. What's in the chalk and gun? I know not true because Noise. Oh, it was an ambo, was it? Oh, well, I wish whoever's in it good luck. Oh. See ya, Martha. Good night, Jamie. Yeah, I'm just about done here too. I've just got this last one to do. And, oh. I'm going to call it a day as well. But I thank you for your company whilst I've been doing this. It's been good. I've got stuff done. I've had a chat and a catch up. Water and at the beginning I had a coffee. Okay. Now this is going to be interesting. I don't know if this one's small as well. Yeah, I might have to just rip that off. Just rip a bit off this one. There we go. Oh. Oh, I don't like the feel of this one. Oh, had a win. Ah, no I didn't. Ah, last little bit broke off. It's all right. So what we'll do there, push it down and put it on top. It's not going down that way. So poke it up the other way. There you go. Seems to me the last ones are the ones that are going to give me trouble. That's all right. Last one. I prefer the last one gave me a bit of grief than the first one. Yep, don't know what happened here, but they're not as deep as they should be. So just got to adapt on the run. Okay, that's not going any further, so what I'm going to do, snap that off there, and then I'll come through from the other end, and we'll whack that down. If you do that, what you do is you line the cut ends off. You don't line the broken end off, line up the cut end, and then you'll get a nice seal. Okay. Might just use this one that I've already glued. This really hurts when it breaks and you jam your knuckles in there. That's not going to go. I don't know what the problem is with that, but anyway. We'll do the same thing with this one. Messy job. Okay. Where's me? This is going to need a little bit of encouragement, I think. That's why I love this thing here. No becks. I don't know what you call it, but it just pulls things in really nicely. If you can't get a tight joint that you need, these really do the job. And with this box, I don't know why, it's the last one of the day. Perhaps it's just because it is the last one of the day, I don't know. So put those on the corners. And then I can put a huge amount of pressure on here and pull it in, and it will cinch it in very, very nicely. There we go, that's got it. So that's how they go. And it just means you can get right in there and put a lot of pressure on that. More than a rubber band will give you. But that wasn't bad, that was only one I needed. And as I said, it's the end of the day. It was the beginning of the day, I think I would have pulled it apart and found out what was going on. It might have just had a bit of swarf or something stuck in the channel. There's nothing all that dramatic, so I would have picked it up when I was sanding it. So I'm not worried about the edges because I've got 10 mil to play with on the top. So that gets cleaned off with a saw and then gets put through a drum sander and then a final sand, which brings it up really nicely. So that's it. And what we've done today is, apart from playing around with what I said, the poor man's power head, and now there you go. All those are glued up, and that's ready for, it'll be Saturday or maybe even Monday before I actually get around to doing anything else with them. Because I've watered the glue down, the glue says it's set in 30 minutes and hard in 24 hours. But because I've watered it down, it's going to have more water content, so it won't be as hard as it should be in a day. So I'll leave that for 3 or 4 days. I've got a heap of other stuff to get on with, so it doesn't matter. And then I can start processing them, and I'm looking forward to when it's all, this lot's gone, and I'm working on my new way of doing it, which I really am excited about. It's a bit high tech, but I'll share it with you when I actually get the wrinkles sorted out with it. And I'm ready to go full steam. They'll still be glued. Ostensibly the construction will appear the same, but the process will be very, very different. The finished product is going to look exactly the same, but it's going to be saving me so much time. And it's going to be very, very good. All right, let me just tidy this muck up. Put this one away. Oh dear, there you go. Vinny, hey Steve, I tried that trick with the thicknesser by running the Tassie oak on there. Much better. Oh, there you go. Good stuff. Thanks for letting me know, mate. Yeah, it's amazing. Even with a spiral head, if you put it in on a tangent, yeah, it just, you're not meeting the grain head on. So it does make a bit of a difference. So thanks for getting back to me on that one, Vinny. I've learned 2 new things today. Tim Tams make good push sticks and glue is in the media if it's on a Tim Tam. No, look, there's a lot of things you could put on a Tim Tam and no, it's not toxic. I don't know, Tim Tams might be toxic. I know they're addictive. The worst ones are double chocks. Oh, you just can't eat one of those. You just got to keep on munching. Oh dear, me poor old body. Don't bring me down, Vinny. I like me Tim Tams. I don't care. I don't drink alcohol and I don't smoke. I've got to have one vice. Tim Tams is it. That and breakaways. I like breakaways too. Where'd my mouse go? Here we go. Benaldi too, g'day. Benford, cooking up some hooch in the back there. Oh, no, that pressure pot, I've got to take that up to the front shed. I did some resin work. We did a video down here. And that's what that's there for. Whoops, I just lost myself. Wait a minute, let me bring myself back. There you go, I'm back. So that's it. Boring as the proverbial, but it had to get done. I'm reasonably happy with that router, poor man's whatever I called it. What do I call it? Feed head. So I'll persevere with that. I'm sure it's going to be fine. There's a couple of other things I'm going to do to make it easier because I don't like what we did with that one was took it in increments using the fence and had a few dramas with that. But what I want to do is put some spaces in there. So I'm taking, I don't know, maybe 1/8 or 3/16 of an inch off at each pass. And when I perfect that, I will share that with you also. And yeah, we'll get that new thing going. I've got to look at the cam lock on the height adjuster. What I do love with that Jason is it's got a digital readout height adjuster. So if I have to make a change of, I don't know, 0.743 of a millimetre, I can dial it up, which takes the guesswork out of it. Prior to that, I was sort of guessing. But that's about it. No, I don't apologise for doing the stream. I apologise if you thought it was boring, but it was work that had to be done. We'll do some more interesting stuff later on. Lovely to be down the shop and have you on board. So that's it. I'm going to go up, and I'm really, really proud of Susie and what she did with my granddaughter's cartoons. I think they're absolutely great. Let me just get these ones up that I've got to do these. Oh no, I can't do that. Oh yes, I can. I'm not doing them now. This is a job for Mora. One for Mora. Oh dear. Oh, and then I've got another heap down there I've got to do. So anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for your indulgence. If you like the channel, please hit the subscribe button and like. I would appreciate that. And I look forward to having your company in the workshop very, very soon at the workbench. In the meantime, this is Steve pulling the shed door down, punching himself in the face and saying, remember to keep it sharp. But more importantly, keep it safe. Look after yourself. Be kind to each other. And I look forward to having you in the workshop at the workbench again very, very soon. And soon we'll be moving into some more projects. I know there's things I've got to finish. Forget the music stands. I've got to do that frame, which I was showing you how to put bow ties in. I'm doing a drawer construction, which I'll finish. And might do the music stands before Christmas, I don't know. In the meantime, take care, look after yourself. God bless. Bye for now.